Company number 2 is Target. Now, Target is huge. Started with DoorDash, kind of small. Now we're going like epic, huge. Target's story is pretty unique. I don't think anyone, when designing the original Target logo, ever thought of an idea other than using a target. There's a few reasons why. We like round logos. We like round things. So let's get really meta, spiritual, primal. Let's talk about me and you. Now, I realize I'm on this side of the camera. You're watching this wherever you're watching it. When we walk throughout our day, we see other humans that we love, our family, our children, our loved ones. And we see their round face and we look into their round eyes, and there's something very human about the circle. Because of that, our eyes are drawn to circles. It's just how it is. So if you're looking for a starting point for a logo for that new idea, that new nonprofit, that new ministry, whatever it is you're doing, a good starting point is with a circle. This is why we see a lot of large companies move towards the circle when given a chance. Starbucks is an easy example. They have reduced everything they have about their brand, and now they're down to the most simple form, which is the green circle and the little impression of the mermaid in the middle. But we're not here to talk about Starbucks just yet. We're going to talk about Target. So Target, they're always going to go with the Target. Some interesting things. Let's talk about negative space. I'm going to quiz you right now. How many rings are in the Target logo? Rings, outer rings. How many rings are in the Target logo? Guess? 2, 3, certainly not 4. 3 or less, right? Let's take a look. I know this is my drawing. What do you see? There is 1 ring in the Target logo. 1. There's a dot in the middle and a ring. But what do we see in between the two is what we call negative space. That's when we make an impression with shapes. So it's air, it's nothing, it's just negative space, but it leaves an impression, kind of glitches your brain. You would think there's 2 rings, maybe there is, but we only see 1 red dot and 1 red ring. How fun is that? Okay, so for Target, what is their story? They're not going to change that. It's never going to go. Their story is one called decoupling. Say it with me, decoupling. Okay, I know you didn't say that. No one does that. Okay. What does decoupling mean? Decoupling is to take a pair that was always together, a word mark that says Target and a logo mark, which is their Target, and they decouple them. They break them up. They give their marketing department, their design department, the store build out group, all the architects, they give them finally the permission. All the people who make the commercials that you see on YouTube, they give them permission just to use the Target logo by itself. Now, why do people do this? They usually do it just because they like to be cool. Now, if you look throughout the recent history, we see other examples of this. McDonald's famously dropped, like I know no one cares about this, but hear my story. There was the golden arches, then underneath it said McDonald's. And then they took McDonald's off and it was just the golden arches. Nike famously dropped the letters Nike and went with just the swoosh. And it's kind of like a magic cultural moment where you could watch a commercial about athletics and sports and speed. And then at the end, you just saw a simple swoosh. The word Nike wasn't there, but we all knew that it was the Nike company. So it's a moment of arrival when you can drop the word that describes who your company is, that names your company, and go right for the logo. So it's a story of decoupling. What do we see when decoupling happens? Well, all of a sudden you see a lot of creativity. For Target, they're asking questions. How can we bring these circles? How can we bring this Target into our interior space? What if our lighting fixtures look like this? What if in the entry when people come into our store, we remind them of our brand? What if we, look at the coffee we serve in the corner? I don't know what it is, but it opens up a new realm of creativity. And, it's just kind of an interesting story. Don't decouple too early. You're going to need to be about 30 billion into this success story before you do it. But it's pretty cool when you see it happen. And one other thing, they went from uppercase Target to lowercase Target. Why would you do that? Earlier, we talked about how letters have personalities. In general, we know all caps is shouting. We learned this many decades ago. All lower is more soft, more gentle, more approachable. So maybe Target, because of their size, they wanted to remind people that they could still be likable. I think it's that and more. When you have your word mark, your company name begins with one letter and ends with another, there's some great opportunities for symmetry. And I think that having 2 lowercase t's is just so adorable. But when you have 2 uppercase t's, it's even more shouty because we have them on the beginning and end of your word mark. I'm done talking about this. Let's move on.
bringing you all the ways to get what you need. Target run and done.